on the POD page. So we're going to go live here in just a second. Shir, can you pop out the, can you make sure that it's going to be live on your phone? I'm getting my phone up for the live to make sure that if there's any questions, we've got them answered. Powerhouses. They change this app every day. It's ridiculous. It's literally ridiculous. All right. What is going on, prospecting powerhouses? I hope you guys are doing well today. We are here back for another Friday feature. Sorry about last week. Hurricane Irma delayed us, but Heather Pickin was not to be denied. We are here live with a prospecting Hall of Famer. She is a POD Hall of Famer and a truly wonderful person. Heather, we are so excited to have you. Thank you for being on here with us today.
Well, thank you so much, Alex. It's my pleasure.
Awesome, guys. Well, if you guys are watching with us, first of all, let us know that you're watching with us below. Throw a W into the comments. We're winners here. That's what we do. Throw a W in the comments. Let us know you're live with us. If you are watching on replay, let us know with an R. It's totally fine. Whether you are in the POD family or you are not, this is going to be a very valuable chat for you guys to listen to. Heather is incredible at what she does. She's going to share with you guys her thoughts on some mindset, visions, living a la Dolce Vita life, which I'll let her talk about more so here in just a second. We kind of have a plan here, guys, but the more so the fact is we want to engage with you. This is not just a conversation between Heather and I. If you have questions, feel free to let us know. We're already getting a lot of W's here. Lots of people are excited. We're happy to have you guys here. Appreciate you all. So we're going to get started with the most simple question so everyone can kind of know who Heather is and where she comes from and what it is. So Heather, can you give us an idea of how you got started as an entrepreneur, where that passion and fire came from? Because you are one of the most passionate people I've ever met and very, very inspiring. And I think when people listen to your story, I think they'll get enlightened on how to do it themselves. And that's really the big key. So can you tell us that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my journey really started when I was in 4th grade. So I had a learning disorder, dyslexia. And so I really felt stupid, you know, just imagine going through your whole life feeling like you're not good enough. And so that was like a driving force and a catalyst for me to really say, you know, I want to put myself out there in a bigger way. I want to be smart. I really want to help people. And part of my story is I had been disempowered in every area of my life, from money to men, and I've really made it my mission. And I'm here to tell you, as a business owner, if you're going through challenges, you know, that will really, you know, how you're perceiving those challenges will really make a difference in what, you know, what the outcome is. And so my journey as an entrepreneur, I actually started out in the fitness field. I created my first product way before Facebook. It was called my 6-week fat burning and mind empowering system for women. And I remember in the first 90 days, I sold that system. And, you know, my mindset at that time was like, wow, if I can do this, what else can I do? And I started getting clear on my vision on what I really wanted to create and, you know, really transform the world with my work. So I started working with entrepreneurs, and, you know, one of my genius zones is really helping people to break through those limiting beliefs. So just to give you a quick example, I thought, wow, I want to create this program. I want to create a $30,000 program. Now, when I told myself, you know, I wanted to do that, what happened is I had this mindset of going, who's going to pay for that? And so through my own work, I always work on myself. I thought, no, I'm going to do that. So I have a process that I go through in really remyelinating my brain, which you can essentially remodel your brain by asking specific questions, where I was able in a couple of months be able to ask for that sale and receive it. And I teach my clients how to do that.
Beautiful. I love that, Heather. First of all, one thing that I didn't know about your story that we share, and you don't know this about me, and no one does, and I'm about to share it. I too had a learning disorder. I too had dyslexia. But that also is one of the reasons why I kind of developed into the person that I am today. Going through those struggles as a young kid, as you can imagine, not being in class with the standard kids because you can't read or write or learn the same way they can. And as children, you know, 10-year-olds don't really understand the idea of being kind to one another based on other people's, problems or issues they're having. That type of tact is not inbred into 10-year-olds yet. More so when you're 15 and 18 and 25 and 35 as you grow. So that's interesting that you shared that, because I also had a learning disability. Without the people that were in my life at that time to empower me to make sure that understanding that my learning disability wasn't going to stop me from becoming the person I was, allowed me to create Prospecting on Demand and create a marketing agency and be the person I am today. So that's amazing that we share that. I didn't even know that that was the case. If anyone here has felt disempowered in their life at any point, let us know in the comments below what it was. Was it something that was through your own mindset? Was it someone else? Was your parents never giving you what you wanted? Friends pushing you down? Mentors not telling you that you can accomplish things? It's unbelievable how many times I speak to people and how many people stop them from wanting to achieve something that they really believe they can. But it's not like people are doing it purposely. It just so happens to be that way. It's like this mindset, well, you're a woman, you can't do that. You're a man, you can't do that. You can't do this, you're too young, you're too old. But it's such a weird way for this world to live in, rather than just empowering everyone. Who cares about your age, sex, religion, race? No one cares. Just go out there and do what you want to do. Be happy with who you are and live that Dolce Vita life.
It's so true. And I have a quick story I really want to share with everyone, because my whole journey is about breaking through limiting beliefs, really coming into, who I want to be, what I want to do, be, and have. And so back when the stock market crashed, I remember actually right before that, everything in my life, I went to this point, this breaking down moment where I had lost everything. So I just want to paint the scenario. It's 2 a.m. and I'm sitting there, just kind of looking at my life going, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I'm in a relationship where it was very toxic and we had a fight. And so in the same moment that I had a fight, I also had my father, saying not the best things to me. And it was, what happened with that boyfriend at the time, he kicked me out in the middle of the night. I had no car. I had a couple $100 in my bank account, and I was literally living off my credit cards. In that moment, it was a huge wake-up call. And I told myself I was going to make a decision to be successful. I didn't know how. And here's what was going on in my mind. I'm college educated. And I asked myself, why do I keep attracting the same kinds of reoccurring patterns and themes in my life? The very next day, I put an ad on Craigslist and moved in with a complete stranger. I'm telling you, Alex, that was so humbling for me. I had to ride the bus. I committed to myself. I'm like, I'm going to do whatever it takes. And so I locked myself in my room. And all I did for those 6 months was I worked in my business. I worked out. And I actually found a mentor. And I didn't have the money at the time. And that's why the money is never an issue, because you'll do whatever it takes. And I was so in my head, I was crying all the time, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to focus. I'm going to focus. And because I was focusing, the power of my focus, I was able to generate my first 6 figures in 6 months in my business, because I'm like, oh, no. I am so tired of living this way. And my mission in that moment was that I'm going to help anyone to break through those limiting beliefs. And that's why I'm so empowered about doing this work and want to help people. So it doesn't matter what happened to you. I have worked with people and, that have had so many different issues, from bankruptcies, rape, molestation, going through a divorce, you name it, the most perceived tragic things, that I can take a tool and transform how they perceive something, go back in time in that moment, so that they're not shaming themselves, they're not beating themselves up, and they're giving themselves permission to do something extraordinary. So I'm just so passionate about sharing my message, and just sharing with you and everyone that's watching. Doesn't matter what's happening right now or where you want to go, but what matters is just really defining who you are and what you want and going after it.
Man, it's so powerful to hear you say it, and because I can feel the passion in your voice, and I know everyone watching and listening can feel that as well. If you can feel the passion, by the way, let us know in the comments. Throw a 7 in there. That's my number. That's my favorite number. So feel free to let us know if you feel that. But one thing that we consistently talk about in prospecting on demand that Heather brings up is not letting yourself be beaten by this. The reality is a lot of the times the challenges and obstructions in your way, there's a way to always overcome them. Heather nor myself are pretending that it's easy. We're not saying that, oh yeah, you could just, steamroll every single problem that you're ever going to have. Some of them are going to be mountains. Some of them are going to be molehills. Hopefully you don't make the molehills mountains, right? That's the classic line. But sometimes we're not going to sit here and pretend that there's not real issues, real problems to overcome. But most of the time, the truth is it's here. It's the process of how can I overcome my self-doubt, my problems inside my own life, the problems that I have in my own head that I'm struggling to overcome. Sometimes it takes a disastrous sequence or event to overcome them, like Heather, where she's thrown out, she's outside of a home, she doesn't have any opportunity. What's next? Well, where are you at from rock bottom? Well, it's literally impossible to go down. It's only able to move forward. What Heather and I want to bring to the table here today is not that you need to hit rock bottom. It's in fact the opposite. Learn from someone else hitting rock bottom and don't let yourself do that. That's what we talk about in prospecting on demand, not just in your business, but in your personal life as well. In your personal life, if there's things that are leading you down a track that you don't want to lead to, make that stop now. Get off that train now. Don't wait until the last exit. Don't wait until rock bottom. You can be enlightened through someone else's rock bottom. That's what parents are for, right? Parents are there to teach you about the mistakes they made so that you don't make them. Same thing as a mentor, same thing as myself or Heather. We're not here to tell you to do exactly what we did, hit rock bottom and then achieve your great goals. Don't let yourself get there. And on the other side, in business, through prospecting on demand, we all know this. In business, there's hills and valleys. Am I correct? At all times.
Absolutely. And I will say this, you want to take on challenges that are inspiring every single day, because if you don't, what's going to happen is you'll attract challenges that are inspiring. And if you're not living true, like here's how you hit rock bottom. We all live by a set of priorities or our highest values, a hierarchy of values. Everyone lives by their top 3. So let's say you're like, oh, I really want to do this business. But if you're not being true to yourself and congruent, you will attract chaos. So you'll look at your business in your life and if you're truly living by the hierarchy of your highest values. The Greeks called it living by the telos, the highest purpose in meaning. And if you're doing that, then you're not going to hit rock bottom. And sometimes we have to experience that in order to change, because we always change on the brink of support and challenge. Too much support, your business will never grow. So 100%. Take on the challenges that are inspiring every single day.
Absolutely. I love the line that like the greatest opportunities in your life are right outside of your comfort zone. Like right outside of the comfort zone you're in is where the true opportunities are. Because inside your comfort zone, you're never being challenged. And if you're never being challenged, how can you grow? It's impossible. The hills and valley line I was going towards is, in business, no matter how great your business is going, there's ups and downs always. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of it's perceived, right? Like there can be ups and downs for anything, your emotions, your financials, your client retention, but it's mostly perceived at the end of the day. You determine whether or not am I in a high point or am I in a low point. The goal in prospecting on demand and what Heather is also bringing to the table right now with mindset and vision is, if you create a system for yourself to avoid the opportunity of being at the rock bottom, then when you're starting to slowly fall down, you're going to catch yourself prior. Like Heather will never hit rock bottom again. It's not possible because she knows the track she needs to take to avoid a slip. If she feels herself slipping, if I feel myself slipping, I know that because I understand myself, because I understand the vision I have and the passion and the 3 hierarchies of what I care about, like Heather is talking about. And if you know those things, then you won't allow yourself to hit rock bottom. And that's really a big key as you move forward in your life and in your business. As entrepreneurs, and we talk about this all the time, your life and in your business, they're so interconnected because they're basically the same thing. A lot of people here want to pretend that they have a business. The reality is, though, most people are freelancers or consultants because you are the business. If you are not working, is there a business running? For most people, the answer is no. That's the reality. That's the truth. So if that's you, there's a couple things you need to do. One, you got to make sure that you have systems to avoid yourself slipping. And two, if you truly want to own a business, start figuring out how to create systems to take yourself out of the business. That's why the most successful people in the world are not that one-man wrecking machine. Doesn't work that way, right? I mean, that's what it comes down to. Let's continue here and talk about vision. I think this is a big thing and a big key. And I know that you're really passionate about setting and focusing on your vision. You had a big post about this in POD just 2 days ago. We were all talking about it in our community. I'd love to hear your thoughts on someone that doesn't feel like they have a vision. There's a lot of people that are uninspired. When someone might watch myself or you, they might look at us and be like, but you guys are already so passionate and so inspired. What about me? Where it's like, I don't know what I want. I don't feel anything. What do you say to someone like that? How do you get them out of their bed in the morning to say, here's your vision?
Right. You know, one of the first things that I would do as a coach is do a values determination assessment and find out what's the hierarchy of their top three. If you know what your highest values are in the 7 areas of life, then you can actually build a business and brand that you feel inspired. I don't believe in motivation because motivation is extrinsic, meaning external forces, you know, like when I used to be a personal trainer going, come on, you can do it. When you come from inspiration, the word inspire is to come from within. You spontaneously and spiritually connect with your vision, and no one tells you that you have to pick up the phone and make those prospective client calls. And so when you're connected and you're clear on your vision, you will attract those opportunities and clients to you. So any detail that you leave out of your vision, that's where your chaos is. So for example, if you're attracting crappy client after crappy client, it's because you're not clear. I went through this myself. I had clients that didn't pay me. I could just tell you so many stories, and it really taught me. I used that as a gift. I was able to balance my mind to ask myself, what's the benefit of having this in my business to show me? And that's what always happens. So you've got that chaos. It just means that you need to get clear. So getting clear on your vision, one of the things that I recommend is asking yourself, what do I want to do, be, and have for the rest of my life? What does that look like? How am I going to put my message out there in the world? And it will evolve over time. My vision has evolved over time. So every time I look at my Dolce Vita mission statement and ask myself, do I need to change it? Now, here's a really interesting thing. I wanted to change one word because I'm like, I really want to work with these kinds of clients. I'm like, I really want to work with CEOs, people that are just sharp people and they want to go to the next level of their business. I put that word in my vision statement, and about like a month later, I was attracting CEO clients and I was taking strategic action. So you've got to have the vision. You can't have unicorn thinking, right? You got to have the vision that is aligned with your values. You've got to take action that is congruent with your values, because if you're, let's just say if you're saying, okay, I want to make 100,000 in my business in a month, and you're not having the values that support it, that is unicorn thinking. I like to say it's unicorn thinking because you have to take strategic action. It has to be consistent, and you've got to measure those actions every single day. And sometimes everything's not perfect, but you've got to be able to endure with the long-term vision both the pain and the pleasure of pursuing something worthy. And like you said, Alex, this stuff isn't easy. If it was that easy, everyone would be doing it. So this is why like people like Richard Branson, Oprah Winfrey, and Bill Gates, they had a vast vision on, really empowering millions of people. And that's why they have great wealth. If you can't get past yourself, if you're only focusing on your bills, never expect to be successful in your business. And that's the reality of it. So you've got to have a vast vision, wanting to help everybody. I'm sure you've heard that phrase, if you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want. And it's so true.
I love that. I think it's so true. And guys, right now you have an opportunity to be held accountable and give your chance to either flesh out your vision or tell us your 3 high core values. Martin's already shared with us freedom, integrity, and care. I certainly resonate with those 3. I think off the top of my head, the 3 most, it's really hard for me to come off the top of my head with my 3 highest values, but I'd probably go with freedom, definitely very important to me, time freedom and financial freedom. Integrity is probably the single most important thing for me. The third most important thing I'd say is family values. I
Mm-hmm.
think family matters more than anything in comparison to anything at all. Business is completely secondary to family, in my opinion. So what is your three core values and or
Yeah, yeah. Let me just identify. A lot of people get a little bit mixed up with what values are. So values are the actions that you're taking in the 7 areas of life. So if you're saying freedom, well, freedom how? Freedom in the area of, social, right? We've got social, spiritual, mental, vocational / career. You've got your finances. So if you have a hierarchy in your finances, that doesn't mean you're spending money like a drunk sailor.
right.
That means you're investing and saving an ever progressive amount, like quarterly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, however you have it. Like I have a
Right.
forced savings account. So all the money is, every single month I've got that all planned out. And we've got fitness, fitness and health. And I think I'm trying to think if I covered all the 7 areas. So we've got those top 3. And then all you have to do is really, I've got 13 questions that ask, it's kind of a reoccurring pattern theme. You say, what am I doing every single day? It's not what I say, but what I do. So if someone says I've got a hierarchy, my top thing is family, but yet they're spending more hours on their business, or actually their business is the highest, and then their family might be. So for example, for me, my business is the hierarchy of my values. I'm doing that all the time. My life is a demonstration, in doing that. And then my second thing would be my fitness and health. So I'm working out all the time. I'm eating healthy. And my third thing would be my relationships. Now, your values can change over time. If you have a baby, then you're going to have a hierarchy on taking care of your baby. So those are kind of things when people understand what values are, that's how you can kind of look at it. Now, let's just say if you're saying, oh, I must do that, or I have to work on my business, that when you're using imperative language, that tells me that you're really not operating on your highest values. What you're doing is you're injecting a social idealism or someone else, comparing yourself and thinking
Absolutely.
that's what you do. So when you're truly congruent and living by your highest values, no one's going to tell you to do it. You automatically do it. And that's how you live what I call your La Dolce Vita life.
I love that. It's so powerful, guys. You guys can see why Heather works one-on-one with people to really help them kind of empower themselves to get over the hump of this, really. It's like there's really a lot in here. Most of the time, people, the knowledge you need or the steps you need, the action steps for creating a business model, those are there. Like people will be able to teach you that. That's what I do, right? How Heather and I ended up working together. She wanted to have some prospecting systems to fill her pipeline because she was very confident in her service, but she wanted help with the pipelines. That's why she came to me, because she knew that was part of her process. That's why she's a Prospecting on Demand Hall of Famer. She has no problem filling pipelines now. She has no problem generating new leads and new opportunities. There's always the opportunity to learn that type of material. But in here, if you're blockading yourself from not having the vision or the mindset appropriate, or just trying to do what someone else is doing, you're never going to live your own La Dolce Vita life. You're never going to be yourself. You're going to just be a mirror of someone else. And then ultimately you're going to figure out that that's not what you want. And then you're going to feel crappy about yourself. And it's a really weird place to be in. And I think if you're listening to any of this at all, probably the most important aspect to take away is live the life that you want to live, not the one that someone else tells you you have to, not the one that you believe you're stuck in. You still have freedom of choice. You still have the opportunity to overcome the problems that you've had in your life, no matter how bad. I assure you of that. It's feasible. It is possible. There are people that have come back from worse than whatever you have. It's been proven time and again. And if you listen to Heather and I and you resonate with what we're saying, that's the opportunity now to take that step today. It's Friday. It's the middle of the month. You're coming towards the end. What are you going to do today that's going to change your life moving forward? What action are you going to take to change your life moving forward? Heather, I'd love to know from your thought process, when you were switching over from rock bottom to climbing up the ladder of where you wanted to go, what was the biggest change in action, not just mindset, but in action that you were taking that maybe we can share with someone that's watching today?
Yeah, it was, I would have to say it was being focused on that one thing that I needed to be doing. And that was getting in front of prospective clients, because you always want to focus on the highest priorities. The highest priorities will always give you the cash in clients. Most people are focusing on the wrong things. They're doing admin things, and then they're attracting more chaos into their business and life. or they have that mentality that, oh, everything needs to be perfect. I have to tell you, I am totally not perfect. I mess up all the time. And I'm kind of fearless because I'll just put things out there and sometimes it's not perfect. And you got to get out of that perfection mentality and just do it. So focusing on that one thing every day. What do I need to be doing? So when I'm working with my clients, I have them focus. I was just finishing up with a private client. In 8 weeks, we transformed her business. She filled up one of her programs. I helped her with her accounting, her bookkeeping, her taxes. I helped her to delegate that. And now she's on track to hit her goal of making $10,000 a month.
Beautiful. It's amazing, guys. The idea here is you can do this. We hope that our video today and what our goal was mutually was to empower people that are watching. This is not a sales pitch. This is not come purchase prospecting on demand or La Dolce Vita. That's not it. That's not it. We are POD right here. This is part of POD. Come join us if you like. We want you to be a part of our family. We'd love to have you as a Hall of Famer too. But what we're on here today is simply to empower you, simply to make you realize that you can accomplish the things you want to. Maybe there's a couple things you need to do, stepping out of your comfort zone, figuring out your vision, finding what your passions are, what values you hold, how you can avoid slipping to the rock bottom, what you need to accomplish. Maybe it's a mentor that you need. Maybe you need to join Prospecting on Demand. Maybe you need to reach out to Heather one-on-one. Maybe you need to find someone else. Maybe you need to talk to your family. It doesn't matter what it specifically is, but action must be taken. I say this for every single call that I do. Training, sales, one-on-ones, it doesn't matter. Don't do this. Don't allow the information to come in one ear and out the other without any action or implementation taken. Knowledge without implementation is worthless. This is what Heather and I had spoken about when she joined Prospecting on Demand. I could tell she was not the average Prospecting on Demand member. Most people that join POD are relatively new to the entrepreneurship business, and we're going to help them with business development and creating systems and passion and mindset. She already had that locked in. All she needed was a pipeline fill. Let me figure out how to fill my pipeline. She's brought more value in the mindset area than I ever could, because this is part of what she is and who she is. That's why I wanted her on here today to share this with you guys, to be here to empower you, to enlighten you, to excite you. If you guys watch videos like this and you feel either jealousy, resentment, uncomfort, or you don't feel like you belong, those are the wrong feelings to have. Now, I can't pretend to you that feelings are like a construct of they automatically happen based on your conscious. I know sometimes they just happen. Feelings are feelings. But you got to work on that mindset to realize listening to something like this, it's not cynicism. It's not BS. It's true. It's real. We're on here to make a difference for you. We're taking the time out of our day today to make a difference for you. That's what this is about. That's what we're here to do. Heather, I want to close this off on a strong note. I'd love to hear what your thoughts on the Prospecting on Demand community and mastermind is, and you could feel free to share that with the prospecting powerhouses that are considering joining our family.
Absolutely. It's funny because I am a seasoned entrepreneur. I've invested a lot of money in my business, and, you can never know enough. Number one, the landscape of, really how things are, how we're marketing today is changing. And I don't have time to keep up on that. And so what I love about Prospecting on Demand is there's really kind of a pulse on that, and it's a mastermind community because I know how to sell. I've mastered the art of selling. Like, I know how to do all that, but having a community that you can collaborate and saying, hey, I'm doing this, I need some eyeballs to look at this, or just kind of learning a new digital marketing strategy that maybe my clients need to know, but I don't want to be all things to all people. That's not what I want to do. And I feel like being in the community, it's kind of giving you that shortcut of wisdom of really knowing exactly what to do. Because before, here's what I was doing before. I was in all of these different free groups, and it just wasn't helping me, because when you're investing in yourself and you're masterminding like POD, you're with people that are highly inspired and intelligent, that are working together and really giving back. So that's the kind of energy that I like to be around.
I appreciate that so much, Heather. Everyone that is watching here today, if you want to reach out to Heather, you can find her on Facebook. She will be tagged in this post. You can find her. She is absolutely wonderful, as you guys can tell. She really does know her things, and she's always willing and ready and able to help. She wants to really, truly help. That's part of one of her core values just as much as mine. That's why we're on here today, and that's the purpose of these calls. Heather, we're so proud of you. We're so happy to have you in the Prospecting on Demand Hall of Fame. Thank you so much for being here today. Everyone that was watching, if you enjoyed this, let us know with 7s below. That's our style. Also, feel free to write your vision in here. This is your opportunity to be held accountable. This is your opportunity to get it out there. If it's just stuck in here, put it on paper at least. It could be ugly. It could be gross. It doesn't have to have great grammar. I don't care. It could be 20 visions. Just at least get started, though. Don't let this information go in through one ear and out the other. Invest in yourself and in your time and care about the business that you have to live that La Dolce Vita life. Heather, thank you so much for being on here, guys. We appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye-bye.
That was awesome.